Hello everyone, this is the Random Engineer. Today we're going to do some other features like Loft features and maybe some radius features, some basic fillet features. So we're going to start with it. So I was looking at some of my previous videos and I found that I haven't really done anything besides the candle. So from now on I'm going to start doing some designs that actually could be used for something. So just to showcase the lofted boss base loft feature, I'm gonna create today a hammer. So to create a hammer, or just to create the loft feature, you have to have at minimum two profiles or two faces. I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. So right now, I'm going to create a right plane and go into reference geometry and create a plane. Now we're going to say how many planes we want, and let's say we want a let's say a 5 centimeter 5 centimeter offset between those planes. So in total I have 10 centimeters. Okay, and right now I've created two planes. So I'm just going to show my right plane so you can see the three planes I'm working on. And on the first one, I'm going to create a new sketch. And I'm going to do just a head of the hammer. So let's say it starts like this, maybe 60. Then I'm going to get out of my sketch, go 3D, and then you'll see this is what is happening. And the plane one, I'm going to create another sketch, and in this case I'm going to create a small square which is going to be sort of the middle of the middle shape of the square of the hammer. And I'm going to go smart dimension, say 30 there and 25 there. And at the end I'd like to have some let's have the something like a nail or something like that. So I'm going to click on my third plane and plane number 2, write a sketch, Control 8, go normal 2, and draw another square, another center rectangle, which is going to be kind of like this. 2 mil height and the same length as the other one, or maybe a little bit more. So 2 length height, I'm going to say I want 40 length. I'm going to click on these 2 points, holding Control, say vertical, and say from, if I go 3D, I'll get a little bit better perspective of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to create a 2 mil difference there. So I get out of sketch mode and see my 3 shapes. So I'm going to click on this button and hide the planes. And I think we're sort of ready there. So I'm going to hit on boss base. And these are the profiles that you need. And then you can also have kite curves, which I'm going to do in a little bit. So in profiles, you have to be, the only thing you have to be careful about is where you click on the profile. So for example, if I click here and on this point of the circumference, and then go to the other point, and then go to yet another point, you see how you get these green dots there. These green dots, depending on the shape that you want, you may want to have them sort of aligned in the same side. So these points are going to be coincident to the shape, the shape or the profile that you've ticked. So you can drag them along some places, which are usually points. So you sort of see the intent of this shape right here. So if you go OK, you can see now how what happens. So inside this Loft feature, like, you can change these dimensions and it will update automatically. And that's what that's what the result that you have. Now, that's one way of doing it, and we're also, well, let's just delete this feature, say yes, and we'll keep the other profiles. Then we're gonna create a guide curve. So you see I've selected the front plane and just gonna say where, where does it have to go. For example, I'm just gonna create some shapes here. No, maybe not. I'm going Control Z to go back, and maybe I'd like to have a spline there. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Or maybe just something like that. So here you can have a guide curve, which is only a like the shape is gonna follow over the whole profile path. So this is just like your path. And for this, I'm gonna create a spline, 2 sides, and we should be good there. So now you see we have two vectors that define the curvature. So let's just say we want something like that just for now, and then we're gonna give it some dimensions there. So say 20 there, 15 there, and let's go up 15 again, and maybe just say that this point and this shape are coincident. So you have two options here, coincident and pierce. Pierce means that it's gonna go through your sketch plane and attach to the shape. So wherever the sketch plane interferes with the sketch or face, that's where it's gonna attach to. While on this one, it's just gonna attach to the actual sketch. So just to finish that, we're gonna create, just gonna say some numbers here so it looks a little bit better. Click on this and say horizontal. Click on that and say maybe vertical. No, not vertical. Okay, smart dimension there. 9.9. No. Okay, so I just wanted to create an angle there, but seems like it wouldn't let me. So I'm gonna go with smart dimension 0.9, and I can have my little shape there. And as an end result, oh well, I also need to do the same thing as that I did as the last time, which is pierce. So if I go that point and that point, I can make them, well, I cannot do anything really, it seems. Yeah, I can just say coincident, but you see that point and that point are gonna be coincident in the same sketch plane. While in merge, it's gonna be protruding through that line. So that's the difference. So let's see what happens when I do the loft. So you just have to remember where you're clicking, the actual place that you're clicking. And if you go guide curves, you'll probably get your selection manager. Are you? I'm gonna go Control 1. Just click on that so it looks better. Control 1. And you sort of see how the actual shape begins taking place there. So you see that the top part has followed the shape, but we don't have any shape on the bottom part. But let's just edit that sketch, and we're gonna create a construction line, make for construction, and below the sketch pattern, oh sorry, there you can mirror entities. So you can just click on the shapes and say where do you want to mirror it about, and it will do it. So let's try that again. Loft, click on your profiles, say one guide curve. So now we get our selection manager, and we say select an open loop, go OK. And for the other side, we say select an open loop again. We go yes. And right now it didn't let me do it because the loop doesn't, I mean the shape doesn't go all the way through the whole profiles. So I need to update that. And I'm gonna go sketch, change, and I may have another spline there just to have a little bit more curvature. And let's do the same. Select the points. Say in this case, let's just say, oh wait, I'm gonna click on the point because right now I'm just clicking on the line. Okay, so yeah, let's just say that line, and that point, and say pierce. You see what lets me do and what doesn't let me do. And maybe just play with this a little bit so it looks a little bit better. You can create the same like there, and maybe I'll choose the same angle. Let's just say 150 and go out there. And you see the shape that I've done. So again, Loft, select the profiles, then say the guide curve, well, fix the points first so I know what's going on, and it actually tries to follow that shape. Select the first open loop, select the second open loop, and right now that's our hammerhead. So you can have end and start constraints. Since we have guide curves here, it's gonna try to follow that shape. But if we make constraints, we can say that we want it normal to the profile with a certain strength. But you cannot really see it that much just because we have that guide curves. But as you see, I increase the strength, and you see how the overall shape starts molding more to each and every one of the sides, just because it's trying to go normal to that profile. And if we go direction vector, we would need to select a direction vector, and that means we need a line to define the direction vector. That's what I did, and if you see, it's trying to follow the profile, but in that direction. So you can see you can do the same with the strength vector, and yeah, that's the things you can work with. And the same with the end constraint, direction vector or normal to profile. So this looks about right. Yeah, and you can have as many guide curves as you want, and as many profiles as you want, as long as they are all connected. And yeah, I think that's good. Now you can have theme features back again, look at the curvatures and stuff like that. So right now, let's just finish that. So do you? I don't know if you guys like how this starts to look. So I'm gonna go to appearances, then just gonna say you want to cast metal. Let's say cast iron maybe, just to have any shape, and then you, like I said, you can select the face, the feature, or the body, and then I'm just gonna say I want this feature to have that that shape, and that's the hammerhead. So for the handle, I'm gonna create a new reference geometry. Oh well, I'm gonna show you two ways of doing it. So since this is a face, which I know it's completely, oh wait, it's not. I thought it was gonna be completely flat, but it's not. So no worries, I can start working from here. So right now I'm just gonna go and create a sketch. Go Control 8 and create a circle in the middle point. Maybe bigger than that. Yeah, let's just go up to that line there, and just say those two line and point, that line and circle a tangent, and you now see the difference there. So let's get out of sketch and make extrusion. Let's say the other side, and then we're going to use some of our features. We're going to say from a surface, because we know this is a surface or plane, and it's going to try to project the sketch onto the plane, that surface. Seems like it did it. It did it just because this sketch was inside the actual the projection of that circle was inside the surface. If it was outside, it wouldn't have done it. So I'm just gonna drag it along a little bit more, maybe until that, and that doesn't look as good. Yeah, I was planning to make a draft, so it was, the handle had a greater diameter on the bottom, but in this case it didn't let me because it's a projection of the surface. So you can also go offset, and you can say the offset direction. And since this is a 3D model, you don't really care if there's interference unless you're doing something for manufacturing. In that case, you would have to think twice about doing this, but this is just a 3D model, so and you can have whatever shape you want. So I'm gonna make a draft on the other side, and you can increase the angle, and you can start seeing what we have. Just gonna unmerge the results, so I have two bodies, and probably just give it a organic wooden appearance there. And as you see, it's got the appearance. So that's the first way of doing it. But since we're doing lofts, I just deleted the sketch. I'm gonna create that circle again, and in this case, I'm gonna create a plane, offset it from the top plane again, and just tell it how much we wanted the offset. Flip the offset to the other side. Go Control 1 just to see how big is the shape. Play a little bit with that, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good enough. Go OK. Click on the sketch. Sketch again. Control 8 just to have it normal too. I'm gonna create an offset of that circle. Just go Control 7 to see actually how big it is, and maybe that's good enough. Remember, we can always change this, and it will have automatic update. So get out of there, use the Loft, select the sketches, and we have pretty much the same result as the last one. We could probably have some guide curves just to make it look a little bit with a better surface, but I think this looks good enough. And let's just fill it this stuff and give it another display, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Just go tangent propagation, so it calculates, so it selects the lines that are tangent to my selection. There you go. Maybe that face, and maybe that edge. Let's do this edge as well. One mil radius. I think that's good enough. Well, maybe not for the back. So the last 4 selections, I'm going to go delete, delete, delete. Oh, yeah, I could have just clicked on Shift and select the top, all the 4 of them. So I'm gonna play with this just so it looks better, and create another fillet like that. And you can have the selection manager, and it's gonna select everything automatically up here. And just say I want a 1 mil if possible. The bad thing about this is that it selects everything, and some radiuses will not be created. So you have to be careful about what you actually decide to select. So I'm gonna select one by one, just so I have it. So I have the lines that I actually want. And as you see, as I'm creating the fillets, I actually have created given the same appearance to the fillet, just because it seems like when I clicked on the appearance tab, I click on the body or the part, and I didn't click on the feature. So since I clicked on the part or the body, it's gonna propagate through all the part, and it doesn't matter what features I actually use. So maybe that. And just have, you can also select faces with the fillets. So I'm gonna click on that, give it a 0.5, maybe 1.5. No, it's not gonna accept it. Just go 1, and we're done. So if I go to appearances up here, I can, and go up here, appearances up here as well. I can click and delete. So in this case, I'm gonna drag again my last appearance. Go just to the feature. Maybe also fill it this a little bit so it looks better. And the actual connection, like so. And I'm going to show you another way of getting the appearances. So right now I'm just going to copy the appearance and paste on the feature, on the fillet. And oh yeah, I have to save, just because the last time I was doing something and I didn't save it, so I had to do all over again. So right now, again, copy appearance, paste appearance, and go to the fillet. But in this case, I could also go to the body, and you see how it starts looking better. So just for finish, I'm gonna do that little hole there you use for getting the head of the nails out. So just gonna create a cut I think I haven't actually used the cuts, so they are pretty much the same as extrusions. It's just that instead of adding material, it removes material. So I'm gonna create that shape using the reference, the same, using the same geometry to create as a reference. So I'm just gonna say horizontal construction. Say this. Right click on this line, select the middle point, and you see how it's selected automatically. Just click on that line and say these two are coincident, and just give it a little bit more shape. Let's say we want a 2 mil gap there, and maybe this is too big, so let's say we want an 8 mil gap there, and we want a distance from there to there. Oh, this seems to be an angle, so I'm gonna delete this relationship just so I can make it vertical, and now the two of them are not in an angle. We can actually do the dimension. So just as we were doing with the extrusion, we can do a cut, and you just tell it how long you want it, but in this case I'm just gonna say up to surface, just because we can do something more complex. And you see how the shape is projected to the surface there. And if we have done everything okay, we have that shape. And finally, just say the fillets there, and probably there. Oh wait, just like I did last time, I'm gonna click on the face, so it selects all the edges of that face, and that's what I wanted. Finish, and I don't have to put the appearance anymore because I did the appearance to the whole part, and there you go. Let's just we can always play a little bit with this so it updates automatically. We change the shape and you see how it all changes back again. So you have to be careful when you're playing with lofts and always try to get the same results. Yeah, you just have to be careful about them. And yeah, I think that's it. Well, I'm gonna make a rendering of this just so I can have a YouTube picture going with it, because for some reason I cannot get the rendering to pop up on the screen, so I will show you those render tools and say preview window or final render, whichever one you like, and it's just gonna do it until it's done, and then you can save it as a JPEG image. So that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys like this tutorial. Let me know if you need some more information about Loft, or if I can do something different so I can showcase the feature a little bit more. Make sure to subscribe. I just created my Facebook page as well, and I'm thinking about having some of you guys giving me recommendations about my personal logo, because I have no idea what to put there, and I also have no idea how to create one. I don't use Illustrator or anything like that, so maybe you guys can help me figure it out. So I have to thank you in advance for that, and thank you again for watching my videos, and I hope you like them and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.